You are not here by accident. No, this moment is not just a coincidence or a random twist of fate. It is divinely appointed, carefully orchestrated, and designed specifically for you. Heaven has meticulously aligned your steps to lead you to this very point in your life. The struggles, the challenges, the moments of doubt, they have all served a greater purpose, preparing you for the breakthrough that is now unfolding. Whether you realize it or not, you are standing on the edge of something extraordinary. A supernatural breakthrough that is ready to transform your life. This is a moment in time that has been set apart for you. A divine intersection where heaven is stepping into your story in a way that cannot be explained by logic, timing, or effort. It is a holy interruption, a shift in your spiritual journey, where everything you've experienced has led you to this point. You may have felt like you were just moving through the motions, struggling to survive, but now you are being called to thrive. This is the time for you to fully recognize the purpose that has been quietly unfolding behind the scenes, shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for this divine moment. You are here because God has aligned everything in your life to bring you to this breakthrough. You are not merely surviving, you are about to experience a life filled with purpose, provision, and divine alignment. In the midst of everything, God is stepping into your timeline. This is not a simple moment, it's a moment where heaven's presence is felt in a new and profound way. God is moving into your life with clarity, provision, and divine funding, a supply that is unlike anything you have ever known. The heaviness that you've carried, the burdens of worry and fear, are being lifted. You may not see it all yet, but everything is shifting. The weight of uncertainty that once held you back is no longer going to dictate the direction of your life. The fears that whispered to you in the quiet hours of the night, making you question your worth and your future, are losing their voice. Heaven is stepping into your life with a divine plan that goes beyond what you can see in the natural. This is a moment of release, a moment where you can breathe deeply and let go of the worry that has kept you bound. You are being lifted into a new realm, one where everything aligns with God's purpose for you, and nothing will be impossible for you. This is your moment of divine clarity, where everything that has seemed unclear in the past begins to make sense. The pieces of your life, scattered and fragmented, are now coming together in divine alignment. This is not just a shift in circumstances, this is a shift in your very being. It's not a random moment, it's a divine transition. And it's crucial to understand that this is the moment where God is moving you from a life of survival to a life carried by supernatural supply. For so long, you have lived with the mindset of just getting by, of surviving, of constantly navigating from one crisis to the next, always just managing to hold things together. But God is bringing you into a new season, a season where you are no longer struggling to keep afloat, but instead, you will live from the overflow of His divine provision. This transition is the beginning of a new chapter, where your life will no longer be driven by scarcity, fear, or the frantic pace of survival. You are stepping into a place of divine abundance, where heaven provides, not just for your needs, but for the dreams and purposes that God has placed on your heart. As you read these words, something deep within your spirit is already stirring. There is a quiet knowing, a recognition that you have entered a new season. You may not be able to see it all right now, but you can feel the change. You can sense the atmosphere shifting around you, and you know that something profound is happening. This divine transition is not just about what you will receive, it's about who you are becoming. Heaven is repositioning you for greater things, greater blessings, and greater influence. It's as though the heavens themselves have shifted their focus onto you, and what was once closed is now being opened wide. The transition is not just external, it's internal. Your spirit is awakening to a new reality, one where you are no longer limited by your past struggles, your doubts, or your fears. Instead, you are stepping into the fullness of who God has created you to be, fully equipped and empowered for the next chapter of your journey. In this moment, the transition from survival to thriving is taking place. The struggles you have faced, the weight of uncertainty, the pain of disappointment, the fear of the unknown. All of that is now being replaced with divine supply. God is no longer just your comfort in times of trouble. He is your provider. He is your source. And this divine provision is not just limited to your material needs. It stretches far beyond that. It encompasses your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. God is not just providing the resources you need. He is providing peace where there was once anxiety, clarity where there was confusion, and joy where there was sorrow. This is the divine flow of provision that is filling every area of your life, and it is the natural result of walking in alignment with God's purpose for you. This moment is not the result of your own effort or striving. It's not something you've earned by your own strength or perfection. Instead, this moment is the outpouring of heaven's grace and favor upon your life. It's the result of God's divine timing, where everything that has happened up until now has been preparing you for this moment. All of your past struggles, all the pain, the setbacks, the challenges, they were not in vain. They were part of a greater plan, a plan that is now unfolding before your very eyes. God's hand has been upon your life all along, even when you didn't see it, even when you couldn't understand it. And now, He is revealing the purpose behind it all. You are being called to step into something greater than you've ever imagined, and heaven is providing everything you need to step boldly into that purpose. So, as you stand here today, know this: you are not here by accident. You have not arrived at this moment by chance. This is your divine appointment. This is the shift you have been waiting for. Heaven has aligned your steps to bring you to this point, and the weight you've been carrying is being lifted. The transition from survival to divine provision is happening now. All that you've endured, all that you've struggled with, has brought you to this moment, a moment where you will no longer just survive, but where you will thrive. The provision you need is coming, the clarity you seek is unfolding, and the life you've been destined to live is now within reach. Now is the time to embrace it fully. The transition has begun, and heaven is about to do something extraordinary in your life. You are stepping into a season of supernatural supply, divine provision, and an alignment that will carry you into a future that is far beyond what you've imagined. The path ahead is blessed, and as you walk it, you will see that everything, every step, every decision, every opportunity is divinely orchestrated just for you. This is your moment. The moment of divine provision. The moment of supernatural alignment. The moment of purpose fulfilled. You are not here by accident. Heaven has set this moment apart just for you. Welcome to the divine transition. Welcome to the life of supernatural provision. As you step into this new season, it's vital to understand that you are entering a realm where God funds what He authors. This is not simply about receiving financial blessings, though that is part of it. It's about something much greater: divine strategy, peace, clarity, and everything you need to fulfill the purpose that has been written over your life. This is not a time for mere survival. It is a time of divine provision, where every area of your life is being equipped to thrive, and everything you require to walk in your destiny is being supplied by heaven itself. When we speak of supernatural provision, it's not just about material gain or temporary solutions to momentary problems. What is unfolding in your life right now is the manifestation of something much deeper. A divine supply that flows from the heart of God, tailored to meet not just your needs, but to propel you forward into the fullness of what you were always meant to accomplish. Heaven is not offering a fleeting fix. It is offering a sustainable, overflowing supply of everything required to fulfill the divine calling on your life. This provision isn't based on the limitations of earthly resources. It is rooted in the limitless abundance of God's glory. The promise found in Philippians 4:19 is a powerful declaration. And my God will supply all your needs according to His riches and glory in Christ Jesus. This verse makes it clear that God's provision is not limited to what the world can offer. The resources available to you now are not coming from the earth's economy or human effort. They are coming from the boundless riches of heaven. God's provision flows from his infinite storehouse, and as his child, you have unlimited access to everything he has made available. This is not about scrambling for what's within reach. It is about stepping into a flow that carries you effortlessly toward what is already yours. Heaven's supply is vast, and it is not constrained by the limitations of the natural world. Where the world says there's not enough, heaven says, I have more than enough. This is the realm where God, as your Father and provider, moves on your behalf. He has already seen the needs you will face and has prepared ahead of time. His provision is not reactive, it is proactive. Heaven doesn't just respond to your needs, it has already planned for them. Every moment of your life, every turn of your journey, has been seen, and heaven has made abundant provision to ensure that you not only survive, but that you thrive. This provision from heaven is not a one-time blessing or a temporary measure. It's a continuous flow, a wellspring of divine abundance that is being poured into every area of your life. When you step into divine provision, you are stepping into a season where God's supply never runs dry. This isn't just about meeting your immediate needs. This is about having access to the riches of his glory, which are endless and always sufficient. It's about moving from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance, where you recognize that every need you have will be met and exceeded because you are walking in alignment with heaven's provision. As you enter this divine supply, you must understand that it is not just about the resources you can see. It is about the divine strategy that God is revealing to you. Heaven's provision comes with clarity. It comes with divine insight that empowers you to make decisions with wisdom. The questions that once lingered in your mind, the uncertainties that clouded your judgment, are now being replaced by peace and understanding. In this season of divine provision, not only will your material needs be met, but your spirit will be flooded with clarity and vision, enabling you to walk forward with confidence and certainty. What God is offering you now is a shift in how you experience resources. It's not just about receiving temporary relief. It's about experiencing an overflow, an abundance that moves beyond the financial realm into every part of your life. The peace you need, the emotional strength, the relationships that will support your journey, the wisdom you require to navigate this new season. All of these things are included in the provision of heaven. Your provision is not limited to what can be seen. It extends to your emotional well-being, your spiritual growth, and your mental clarity. This is a season where the old cycles of lack, fear, and uncertainty are being dismantled. The endless struggle to make ends meet, to find the next opportunity, and to constantly fight for survival is coming to an end. You are moving into a place where your life is no longer determined by what you lack, but by what you are receiving from heaven's abundant storehouse. Every need you have, whether it is spiritual, emotional, financial, or relational, is being met according to the riches of God's glory. Heaven is not giving you crumbs, it is setting a feast before you. The shift in resources that is taking place in your life right now is profound. You are no longer relying on your own strength, efforts, or human ingenuity to make things happen. This is the moment when you can stop scrambling for what is just out of reach and begin to walk in the fullness of divine supply. God is moving you from a place of striving to a place of receiving. The work that you have done, the prayers that you have prayed, and the perseverance you have shown have all led you to this moment of divine transition. Now, the blessings that were once distant are drawing near. The provision that you have waited for is arriving at the perfect time. This transition is not just a shift in your material circumstances, it is a shift in your mindset. As you step into divine provision, you are also stepping into a new way of thinking and living. The old fears, doubts, and insecurities that held you back are being replaced by faith, trust, and confidence in God's ability to provide. You are no longer living in fear of lack, but in the expectation of abundance. You are no longer looking at the size of your problems, but at the magnitude of your God and the provision He has already promised you. This is a season of divine overflow, where what you have received from heaven will not only meet your needs but will extend beyond what you could have imagined. As you step into this new flow of provision, you are not just being blessed for yourself. You are being blessed to be a blessing. Heaven's supply is not just for you to consume but for you to steward, share, and distribute to others. As you receive God's provision, you will be able to pass that blessing on to others, extending the abundance of heaven to those around you. In this new season of divine provision, everything is changing. The way you see yourself, the way you see your circumstances, and the way you interact with the world is being transformed. Heaven is opening doors that you didn't even know existed. Opportunities are presenting themselves at the perfect time. Solutions to problems you have struggled with for years are arriving in unexpected ways. This is the life that God has prepared for you, one of supernatural provision, divine clarity, and holy abundance. And as you walk in this provision, you will see everything align according to God's perfect timing and plan. God's provision is a gift, and as you receive it, you will find that it is not just a one-time blessing, but a lifelong flow that sustains you, elevates you, and carries you into the fullness of your purpose. The resources you need are not out of reach. They are being provided to you now, in ways that are both tangible and intangible, manifesting in your life in a way that can only be explained by the grace and favor of heaven. This is your season of supernatural supply, where you are no longer surviving but thriving. The fullness of God's provision is being released to you, and it is more than enough. The time for scarcity is over, and the time for overflow has begun. As you continue to step into this divine provision, it is essential to recognize that this is not just about receiving what you need in the moment, but about a complete transformation in how you experience and interact with the resources God provides. This supernatural supply is not fleeting or temporary. It is an eternal flow. You are entering a realm where heaven's provision is limitless, consistent, and abundant. The very atmosphere around you is shifting to reflect this new reality. What was once a struggle will now be a smooth journey, because God is aligning your path with His perfect timing. This divine provision goes beyond the surface-level needs we often focus on. Yes, financial resources are part of it, but God's provision covers far more than that. Heaven is providing clarity in your decisions, wisdom in your actions, and peace in your heart. These intangible but essential elements will shape your life just as profoundly as any financial blessing. The struggles of confusion, indecision, and anxiety are being replaced with a profound sense of calm, understanding, and direction. You will find yourself walking in wisdom that surpasses your natural understanding, making choices with ease, even in situations that once felt overwhelming. Heaven's supply is also pouring into your relationships. The provision you are receiving extends to those you interact with, whether in your personal life, at work, or within your community. God's abundance is not limited to your own circumstances but flows outward, creating an environment of growth, support, and connection. The struggles you've experienced in relationships, the moments of loneliness or disconnection, are being dissolved as you step into divine provision. New connections, relationships, and opportunities are opening up to you. You are not only being blessed for your own benefit but to be a vessel of blessing to others. Moreover, this shift in resources is not just a one-time event but a continuous flow. You are entering into a season where the provision you receive will never dry up. In the past, perhaps there were times when you felt like you were grasping at straws, unsure if your needs would be met or if the solutions you sought would ever materialize. But now, as you step into this new season, you can rest assured that God's provision is both abundant and sustainable. Heaven is not giving you temporary fixes. It is laying a foundation for lasting abundance. Your resources, both tangible and intangible, will be replenished constantly, ensuring you have everything you need, not just for today, but for the future. God is also shifting your perspective on what it means to live in abundance. In the past, perhaps you saw abundance as a finite resource, something that needed to be fought for or guarded. But God is revealing to you that His abundance is not finite. It's a constant, ever-expanding source that you can rely on without fear of running out. The mindset of scarcity that may have plagued you in the past is being replaced by a mindset of divine abundance. You will no longer worry about not having enough, because you will understand that with God as your provider, there is always more than enough. This realization will transform how you make decisions, how you view your future, and how you approach every aspect of your life. This is also the moment where your purpose aligns fully with God's provision. Heaven is not just providing for your survival, it is providing for your destiny. The resources you receive now are the ones that will enable you to fulfill the calling God has placed on your life. Every area of your life, from your finances to your relationships, your personal growth to your career, is being synchronized with your divine purpose. No longer will you live from moment to moment, hoping for provision to appear just in time. Now, you will walk in divine alignment, where every step you take is accompanied by the provision you need to fulfill your mission. This divine alignment goes beyond just receiving resources. It's about knowing that everything you need, whether it's a breakthrough, an opportunity, or the right people, will appear at exactly the right time. God is strategically positioning you in places where His provision will meet your needs before you even have the chance to ask. As you continue to step forward in faith, you will notice that things begin to fall into place effortlessly. What once felt like a struggle will now feel like a natural flow, because you are walking in perfect alignment with God's plan. God's provision is also deeply connected to His purpose for your life. It's important to understand that this provision is not simply a response to your needs, but is tied to the destiny God has set before you. Your life has a purpose that is far greater than what you can see at the moment. And as you walk in divine provision, you are being equipped for that purpose. The struggles you have endured, the seasons of waiting, the moments of uncertainty, all of these were preparing you for this moment of supernatural supply. Heaven has been quietly working behind the scenes, aligning everything for your breakthrough. And now that it has arrived, you will begin to see just how perfectly it all fits together. As you step into this divine provision, one of the most powerful things you will experience is a sense of peace that surpasses understanding. This peace will surround every area of your life, guarding your heart and mind as you navigate this new season. The chaos and confusion that once clouded your thoughts will dissipate, leaving room for clarity and calm. This peace is not based on external circumstances. It is a peace that comes from knowing that God has your back, that He is providing for you in every way, and that He is guiding you every step of the way. This peace will become the anchor for your soul, steadying you when things seem uncertain, and giving you the strength to face whatever comes your way with confidence and trust in God's provision. You are also stepping into a place of divine favor, where doors that once seemed closed will begin to open. The favor of God will rest upon you in such a way that you will find opportunities appearing that you didn't expect. Relationships will begin to align, and doors that once seemed impossible to open will swing wide. This divine favor is not something you have to strive for. It is a natural byproduct of living in alignment with God's will for your life. As you walk in divine provision, God will make ways where there seemed to be no way, and what once appeared to be obstacles will become stepping stones toward your destiny. This is your season of supernatural provision, a time where everything you need to fulfill your purpose is being released to you. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about stepping into the fullness of what God has already prepared for you. You are no longer just getting by. You are stepping into a life of divine abundance, clarity, and alignment with God's purpose. Heaven's supply is not just meeting your needs. It is equipping you to live out your destiny with confidence and purpose. So, as you continue to walk in this provision, trust that it is the beginning of a new chapter 1, where divine supply flows effortlessly into your life, where your steps are ordered, and where God's favor surrounds you in every way. The time for survival is over. You are now walking in divine overflow. God is inviting you to believe again. It's time to leave behind the limiting mindset of survival mode and step into the abundance that heaven has always prepared for you. For too long, you may have lived with the weight of survival hanging over your every move, waking up each day focused on getting through the next hurdle, just trying to make it to the end of the week, or merely waiting for a break to come. But now, heaven is calling you to something greater, something more powerful, to embrace the abundant life that God has set aside for you. It is a call to elevate your thinking, to shift your perspective, and to fully step into the fullness of what you are destined for. This is a divine invitation to shift your focus from merely surviving to living in the abundance of God's provision. It's time to move away from that space of just getting by and enter the reality where everything you need is being supplied to you. The world may tell you to hustle harder, to fight for every inch, to work yourself into exhaustion just to make ends meet. But God is calling you into a space where the struggle no longer defines you. You no longer have to force doors open. You no longer have to fight with all your might just to scrape by. God is saying, I have a better way. I have a plan that will provide for you, protect you, and lead you into abundant life. Imagine living without the constant anxiety about your next step, without the fear of what will happen when things don't work out. The abundance God promises isn't just about material wealth, it's about peace, security, fulfillment, and provision in every area of your life. It's time to trust in God's plan more than you trust in your own strength. No longer do you need to operate under the fear of lack or scarcity. Instead, you are being called to step into a space where divine resources meet divine purpose. A place where everything you need to fulfill your calling is already provided. This is the realm of supernatural abundance, and it's waiting for you to believe again. For years, you may have been caught in the struggle of trying to make life work with your own strength, doing everything in your power to survive, to keep the pieces together, to meet deadlines, pay bills, and solve problems on your own. But God is calling you to break free from that cycle of self-reliance and endless striving. The season of barely getting by is over. The time of frantic scrambling for answers, making do with what you can muster, is coming to an end. You are being shifted into a season of supernatural provision, where God's supply flows into your life in ways that surpass your understanding. You have spent so much time trying to control your circumstances, making decisions based on fear, worry, and insecurity. You've believed that the only way forward was through your own effort, that the only way to survive was to push, to grind, to never stop. But now, God is showing you that your strength is not what will carry you into this new season. It is His provision, His grace, and His favor. It's not about fighting for every inch anymore. It's about stepping into the flow of heaven's abundance that has already been set in motion for your life. This is where the shift begins. It's time to move from striving to trusting. Instead of carrying the weight of your survival on your own shoulders, you can now rest in God's supernatural provision. The heavy burdens you have carried for so long, the fear of not having enough, the worry about your future, the uncertainty of how to make ends meet, those burdens are lifting. God is asking you to stop striving and start trusting, to surrender your need for control and step into His divine timing. The work has already been done for you. The victory has already been won. You no longer need to fight for your provision. Instead, you need to trust that God will provide, just as He always has. The blessings that are coming to you are not the result of your performance. They are the result of divine purpose. You might have been conditioned to think that you need to prove yourself, that you must work harder, be more perfect, and do more to earn God's favor. But this season is not about earning blessings through striving. It's about stepping into a divine flow of provision that is based entirely on God's plan for your life, not on your own efforts. The blessings that are coming to you are based on the fact that you are walking in your purpose, and God is fulfilling His promises to you. It's crucial to recognize that this shift is not a reward for your efforts. It is the natural result of walking in alignment with God's will. You have been chosen for a divine purpose, and God is funding that purpose. The provision that is coming into your life is not based on your ability to work for it, but on God's ability to supply what is necessary for you to walk in His will. This is the beauty of divine provision. It doesn't rely on your strength, your ability, or your own works. It relies on God's faithfulness and His provision to carry you through. God's invitation to believe again is an invitation to embrace this new way of thinking. No longer do you need to work endlessly, trying to prove yourself or your worth. You don't need to strive for things that are already yours. This is a call to rest in the truth that you are provided for, that you are seen, and that your purpose is being fulfilled. You are being invited to stop hustling and start trusting. Trust that God's provision will come exactly when you need it. Trust that every obstacle you face will be met with a divine solution. What God is offering you now is not just a break from struggle, but an invitation into a new reality. This reality is one where you are fully aligned with God's purpose. And in that alignment, everything you need to walk in that purpose will be provided for you. No more scrambling, no more fear, no more constant worry about how things will work out. This is a new season, one of faith, trust, and divine alignment. As you embrace this new season, it's important to fully grasp the shift that is happening within you. This is not just about external circumstances changing, but about a transformation happening in your inner world. For years, you may have been conditioned to believe that you had to fight for everything, that your worth was determined by your effort, and that nothing would come to you without immense struggle. But as you step into divine provision, you will begin to experience a freedom that comes from knowing that your worth is not tied to your work, but to God's plan for your life. The change you're experiencing is both subtle and profound. It's not just a change in the amount of provision that flows into your life. It's a shift in your understanding of how provision works. You are being moved from the mindset of scarcity, where everything must be earned and fought for, into a mindset of abundance, where everything you need will come in alignment with your purpose. This is not something that happens overnight, but as you continue to walk in trust and faith, the process will begin to accelerate. You will see the manifestation of God's provision in ways you didn't expect. In this new season, your focus will no longer be on scarcity. Instead, it will be on the abundance that God has already set aside for you. You will start to notice that opportunities are no longer just appearing out of nowhere. They are aligning with the divine purpose that is already unfolding in your life. Ideas that once seemed impossible will now appear as clear, achievable goals. But now, you are being called to step into a new season, one where divine provision is your new reality. And striving has no place. You no longer have to prove yourself to God or to others. Your value is already established, and it is from this place of security and trust that you will walk into the fullness of your purpose. It's also essential to understand that this shift from survival to abundance is not just about receiving what you need, it's about becoming who you were always meant to be. This transformation is as much spiritual as it is material. The provision you receive is meant to fuel your calling and empower you to live a life of purpose. As you step into the abundance of God's provision, you will find that your capacity for impact expands. You will be equipped not only to fulfill your own needs, but to meet the needs of others. Heaven is releasing this abundance to you, not for you to hoard or keep to yourself, but to be a conduit of blessings to those around you. In this season of divine provision, everything will be provided for you, but it will come with a responsibility. As God supplies your needs, He is also positioning you to steward the blessings He has given you. You are being entrusted with more than you realize. This is not just a season of receiving, it is a season of preparing for greater things ahead. You are being entrusted with the resources, influence, and authority necessary to fulfill your divine assignment. This is why you are called to believe again, because the blessings you are about to receive are not meant to stop with you. They are meant to overflow into every area of your life and the lives of others. As you trust God in this new season, your faith will grow stronger. You will begin to see that it is not by your strength or your efforts that you receive provision, but by your alignment with God's will. In the past, you may have felt that the only way to succeed was through your own striving. But now, you are being called to walk by faith, trusting that God is your provider and that He will meet every need according to His riches in glory. This season is about surrendering to divine timing and allowing God to move on your behalf. The work has already been done. The provision is already in place. Your only responsibility is to trust, receive, and step forward with boldness. This is the season where God's provision will no longer be a distant hope but a present reality. You will begin to see that everything you need, from finances to wisdom, from favor to peace, will be provided in perfect timing. You won't have to strive for it. It will simply flow to you as you align your heart, mind, and actions with God's purpose for your life. You will walk into doors that were once closed, and opportunities that once seemed out of reach will suddenly be within your grasp. The greatest part of this shift is that it will not be just for a moment, but for a lifetime. As you step into divine provision, you are stepping into a rhythm of grace and favor that will sustain you for the long haul. This shift from survival to abundance is not just about you receiving blessings, it's about you stepping into the fullness of your purpose and calling. As you trust in God's provision, you will see that He is not just meeting your needs, He is preparing you for a life that is bigger than you could have imagined. This is your moment to rise and step into the abundance that heaven has always intended for you. You are no longer bound by the limitations of survival. You are being called into the life of abundance that God has prepared for you. Everything you need, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, is being supplied by heaven. This is the time for you to walk forward with confidence, knowing that you are not doing this alone. God is with you, and His provision is more than enough. No, what you are stepping into is the unfolding of God's perfect timing, an orchestrated sequence of events where everything that has been planned for you is now coming to pass. Heaven is not simply releasing blessings to you in this moment. It is positioning you for everything that was always meant to be yours through Christ. Divine timing is at work in your life, aligning you with what has been destined for you from the very beginning. This is the moment where everything that has been hidden, the promises, the opportunities, the callings, the blessings, begins to come into full view. It is not by your own doing, but by God's hand. This is divine timing at its finest, where the things you've prayed for, the things you've dreamed about, and the things you may have thought were out of reach are now becoming a tangible reality. The beauty of divine timing is that it's perfectly calculated, precise, and absolutely perfect. It's the moment when all the pieces that seem scattered finally fall into place, revealing a picture of your life that is beyond what you could have imagined. You may have wondered at times why things took so long, why opportunities seemed delayed, or why certain doors were closed for a season. But now, as you reflect on your journey, you'll begin to understand that every moment of waiting, every moment of uncertainty, was part of God's divine plan to prepare you for what He had in store. You may have thought you were stuck, but you were actually being positioned. You were being prepared for something much greater, something that aligns perfectly with your purpose. This is the beauty of divine timing. It does not follow the human understanding of time. Instead, it operates outside of the constraints of the clock, working in perfect harmony with God's plan for your life. God's perfect timing means that you are exactly where you need to be at this moment, and you are entering into a season where things will begin to align with precision. What once seemed like an endless wait or a delayed promise is now being released in full force. The doors that you once knocked on, the opportunities you once chased, are now opening for you, not because you forced them, but because they were always meant for you. Divine timing is not about striving or forcing your way through life. It's about stepping into the flow of God's will, where everything you need is provided at the perfect time. And now, the time has come for you to walk in that provision and see how everything you have longed for is finally making its way to you. God's plan for you has always been written. Your purpose, your identity, your destiny, they have all been etched in heaven long before you were born. There was never a moment when God didn't know the path you would take or the purpose He had set for your life. He has been with you in every season, in every trial, and in every triumph. And as you align with divine timing, you will begin to see that what God has always planned for you is now within reach. This is the season where your purpose comes alive.